welcome to Fluent Wade. This is the fourth tutorial in my series of how to do the API automation with the REST Assured API. So first, I would like to thank all the viewers who have commented and given the appreciation. So thank you very much. It means a lot to me. So in the third tutorial, we have completed the configuration of or creation of Maven project. Uh, we have configured the test ng, we have configured the rest assured. So in this tutorial, we are going to see uh, a, a first API test, which has been with the rest assured. Then we will be setting some defaults in order to minimize the effort while writing the test. Then we will see what kind of request parameters are there and how you can handle those with the request specification. So guys, let's get started. In the last tutorial, we have added two packages, one for the framework, one for the test. So let's go ahead and add a test class which will be employee because we are testing employee. So let's add our first test which will hit the RESTful API and which will validate its status code. So validate employee. So given, so it starts with given. So when you say given, it gives you error that it's not there because it's static import. So IntelliJ says it's not there. So go here and say static import dot get. So we want to get or we want to hit the API, RESTful API. So we take this as our URL, put it here, down, then, and so after hitting the API, what you want to do? You want to see the status code. So this is the assertion. So we want to see the status code is 200, and we want to log the information whatever it's getting. So we're going to log all the things. So this is very simple example how to hit an API and how to validate the response. Let's add a test ng annotation so it can run the test. So you can see given get the or hit the API. After getting the response, validate its response is 200, log all the information. How simple this is. This is very simple. So let's validate. And you can see it's running validate employee and it has done the testing. It has passed. Test has been passed and you can see the test result where you can see it has run the test with employee validate and you can see this response. So we have 200 okay and other information and we have this JSON which we are expecting. So that's good, right? So the next thing is defaults. So what are defaults? So in this case we have directly use our RESTful API URL, but instead of that we can have a set of defaults which can be used uh, across the tasks we will be creating in our project. So I have created a class under the framework that rest assured configuration. So in that configuration I have divided our URL into three different parts. The first in the base URI, which is HTTP localhost, then we have a port, and then we have a base path which is a sprint thread services, and after that we will append our endpoint which is employee slash get employee. So let's see how it works with the test. So I will add a new test here which will be a public void validate employee 2. Let me copy paste the same thing to save the time. And let's go and create one more package which will be a common. Okay, let's create an interface and give a name as an endpoint. Okay, let's add our endpoint name. So our endpoint is get underscore employee. Let's copy paste our employee. So make sure you don't make a mistake here. So I prefer adding a slash at the start of the whatever endpoint, whatever the path I have broken down. So if you can see, so at the start I'm using, so it makes sense that every path will have a start, not at the end, just to avoid the confusion and the mistakes. Let's add endpoint here and then get employee. Okay, let's add test and group as a demo. So I have created a test.ng XML to run this kind of test because we have a before suit. We have configured this as a before suit, so it will run before all the tests in the suit. And to configure this kind of scenarios, we need test.ng XML where you need to specify what kind of packages are there and what kind of groups you want to run. If you need more information on this, I will create a separate tutorial, but in this you can uh, consider this as a test.ng XML which will be used to run our test cases. So let's say hit run. So this time it will run the second test but with the defaults. So you can see it's running validate 2 and it has completed running the validate 2. So the same response, but this time what it has done, it has you know taken some parameters or some values as a default. So these, so it has taken only the endpoint, but before that information has been confirmed default. So it's not only the URI parameters we will be setting as a default. There are multiple things in we can set as a default. So we will see those things in the coming tutorials. As in long we go ahead and we will add those defaults in our rest assured configuration. Moving on, so let's discuss what is request parameters and request specification. So mainly there are three different request parameters which are available. One is a query parameter, second is a path parameter, and third is a form parameters. So query parameter and path parameters are included in the get request, and form type of parameter is used in the post type of request. So I have given an example here for let's say we have a endpoint till query employee. So whenever you have a query parameter, it get appended to the endpoint like question mark employee ID is equal to 100. And whenever you have a path parameter is included directly into the path, that is why it is called as path parameter. So currently the get employee slash 100 is the path parameter. Uh, and the form parameter, which is a little bit different. Form parameter is generally included in the post type of request, where it's mainly is into embedded into the body, where where the query and path parameters are included in the header. So for saying a time, I have created these three examples, which validates different type of parameters heading the different type of APIs. So uh, so I so I run these examples and let's see what's the difference uh, in the output. So let's see the query parameter first. So in the query parameter, if you can see, it has added get employee slash employee is equal to 200, and it's mentions that we have supplied employee ID is equal to 200, and remaining things remains the same. So this was about the query parameters. So what is request specification? So request specification is something which is similar to the defaults, but it is very specific to the creating the request. So if you can see, currently I have created request configuration dot get request specification, which returns the request specification for me. So if I go inside this method, you can see I have just set the content type is equal to JSON. So going forward, when we develop some more scenarios, we will add some more uh, the default specification of request specification to this. But currently I'm just setting the content type is equal to JSON. So what it happens is, because of this, for each test case, I don't have to set the content type again and again. So you can reuse uh, that request specification for all each of the test cases. So that's it for this video. Like, comment and share on this video, and please subscribe to automation friendly channel Fluent Wait. Thank you guys.